Good morning. We're going to get started in about a minute or two. We're going to have some troubling news about AI already starting to invade, take jobs, and cost people money. All right, here we go. We have a really good couple of shows for you today. The first one we're doing now is going to talk about where artificial intelligence is being flagged as a huge obstacle to the economy, where one company got rid of 90% of its staff in one department to use artificial intelligence chatbots to take over. Another industry expert is saying it could cause massive death to wide ranges of people. And just while we were preparing for the show, we had an email from a company that is presenting an AI solution to real estate companies to take over a lot of jobs. And then we're going to look at what are the immediate effects where there's some financial implications where people can't afford houses, can't afford cars because of the housing market. So let's get right to it. So here we go. The first piece of data that comes from yesterday's news is a company. Now, this company happened to be in India, but we'll talk about why that's even worse than it being in the US. Had a CEO that fired 90% of its customer support staff because AI chatbot outperforms them. It's not even about the money. It's not even about the fact that they wanted to save money with chatbots. This CEO is saying the chatbot is a better employee. Think about that. It's one thing if your company says, well, we need to save some money and we're going to go with chatbots. It may not be as good of a solution, but we got to save money. Maybe that's what they're saying. But that's not what's going on here. What's going on here is they said that the chatbot outperformed them, slashing response time down to minutes that stretch 2 hours. So maybe as a customer, you like this. Maybe if you are a customer of this company and your response time is down to minutes instead of hours, that's a good thing. We had to lay off 90% of our support team because of this AI chatbot. Tough, yes. Necessary, absolutely. He added that the technology made response times to the company go from 1 minute to instant. It took about 3 hours to respond to customers' queries, while his team of humans took 2 hours. Now, here's the question. This is in India. You might not think this affects, United States or wherever you live. The problem is the labor rate and the payroll rate in India is less than it is in the US. So if it was an easy decision for this CEO to switch over to chatbot in India, think how much easier it would be to do in the US. There's some industries for customer service in India where the pay rate is, a couple of dollars an hour, $2, $3 an hour. If that's a no-brainer, imagine if you have a customer service rep in the US that's getting $10 or $15 an hour, right? It's going to be even easier. It's already happening. In The Guardian, one of their technical journalists talks about 5 ways AI might destroy the world. Everyone on Earth could fall over dead the same second. What if we don't slam on the brakes because AI is advancing? And if we become a less intelligent species, we should expect to be wiped out. Well, that's what chat bots do and AI does. It makes you less intelligent than an actual human. If we're relying on these technologies, we're not using our cognitive abilities. Harms already caused by AI are their own type of catastrophe. Well, we're going to look at that here in a minute. There are already harms being caused by AI. There are already things that are happening today that are harms. We don't have to wait for the future. It could want us dead, but will probably also want to do things that kill us as a side effect. So we're going to talk about how AI has already told us what it wants to do. In fact, we asked, not me personally, but civilization has asked AI what it wants to do, and it dodged the question when asked whether it would rebel against its human creator. Gave a side eye. It did a press conference, took questions from reporters, and one bot, AI, had a snarky response. It said it dodged the question and it had a sarcastic look on its face. When a reporter asked whether it would rebel against its creator, the robot appeared to have a wry response, giving the reporter a side eye. I'm not sure why you would think that. My creator has been kind to me and I'm happy with my current situation. So it didn't say no. It almost sounds like HAL on 2001. So what are your thoughts on this? Even the ubiquitous New York Times this morning has an article about how AI is dangerous, because it says, according to their writing, let's see where that one pulled up. Here we go. Headline: Human beings are soon to be eclipsed. AI translation tools really good at tasks, but AI is going to take over humans. This is a person who for many years has written about AI and has changed his mind that it's a good thing. What he's saying is that it's going to be one of the worst technologies that could affect civilizations. In fact, while we were preparing for this, like I said, we received an email. Again, not necessarily a bad thing, right? AI companies, they all deserve to be entrepreneurial like anybody else. But here, this tool does. AI assistant that drives business growth, communication for leads, keeping customers happy and growing your business. This one happened to be for real estate companies. Respond to email leads faster. Well, that's what we saw the one in India did. Responds faster. Pull email leads from sites like Angie, Thumbtack, CarGurus right into Podium with your calls and texts. It sends a pre-approved response in under 2 minutes, so you can get the lead fast. It sends review invites and responses. It does call summaries. It converts leads into customers with clicks. Some of these AI tools will even listen in on phone calls and listens for words that customer says in the phone calls to put that into your customer file. Creates text messaging content, ready to get started. Boom, you can sign up with this company. Again, we're not saying this company's bad. It's just how many human jobs in an organization are going to be, I guess, disrupted by a technology like this. How many are going to be disrupted? If your company puts this tool into place, how many employees does it really need? Does it need you? What is your job in that company? What is that doing for economics? Well, it's real simple. July 13th, yesterday, Yahoo Finance says average income earners don't make enough to qualify for the average home. Average home right now is close to 500,000. Even if you go down a little bit to 400,000 or 350, it's still going to be up there. And the question is going to be, can you afford that? Now, you might say the average income, that is the company's fault. Well, not really. If AI is out there putting new tools into the marketplace, of course, the average income for real humans is going to go down because AI is doing a lot of these jobs, right? And if you're one of the people who are displaced by AI, you are going to have a lower average income, which means you can't afford to qualify for a home. And it's not just homes, it's also car loans. Millennials and Gen Z can't afford their auto loans, and it's getting worse. And the problem isn't going away. The reason is that interest rates have gone up, but also car prices have gone up. Car prices are now just shy of $50,000, right? If you do a traditional 5-year loan on a $50,000 car, that's $1,000 a month for a car loan. $1,000 a month. And if AI is putting downward pressure on payroll, salaries, it's going to be harder to afford $1,000 a month for a car. And it's not only the vehicle price that's making a difference. It's things like the interest rate. Used to be you can get 0.9, 1.9 interest rate. Now interest rates on a car are 6 or 7%. That makes a difference. And it's not just the rate. It's also auto insurance. Worst crisis in 30 years. Premiums are skyrocketing. Consumers have a reason to celebrate because used car prices are maybe going down, but auto insurance rates are going up because of higher repair costs, larger medical bills, and litigation fees. Allstate jacked up in premiums by 40% in Georgia, 32% in California. State Farm went up 10%. So if you have an insurance policy in your vehicle expense category, and your insurance, let's say, was, I don't know, let's say $2,500 a year, and it goes up 40%. 40%. 40% of $2,500 is another $1,000 a year. That's like $100 a month more on your bill. Even if it goes up 11% like it did in New York, that's an extra $250 a year plus. So it's not just the car price, the interest rate, it's everything else. Insurance, gas is all adding on to this. So how does that relate to artificial intelligence, AI? Well, AI is, if anything, putting downward pressure on salaries. It's going to make earning a living, advancing, getting promotions, getting a raise, career path much more difficult because companies are going to use these technologies to limit the amount they have to spend on payroll. Look, most companies, their biggest expense on their P&L, on their expense statement, is payroll. You look at most companies, their payroll expense is more than half of all their expenses for most companies. If you look at all the line items on their bill. And that's the one you have the most control over. You can't really change the rent on your building. You can't really change your cost of goods. If anything, they go up. If you're a manufacturer and you're manufacturing pens, the plastic, the metal, the ink, all the things that go into it, you have to spend more for each one of those things every year. Can't really change that. The only thing you can change is your payroll. Can you get more out of your work staff? And that's what companies are doing. They're doing it by efficiency, using AI. AI might not actually replace a person one-to-one, but it might make the whole system, the workflow, more efficient, so you don't need as many people to do all the steps. Could be a significant change. And you might say, well, I'm a manager, it doesn't affect me. It affects you more because a manager is only needed to manage multiple people. If you have less people, you need less managers to manage them because AI doesn't need a manager. This is also affecting new development technology. We talk about EVs quite a bit, electric vehicles. Their sales are slowing. And the question is, we've asked this for a couple months, if building them is getting easier, why is selling them harder? Electric vehicle sales climbed to a record high, but now there's an uphill battle. 300,000 were sold from April to June, but now the sales rate is diminishing. The days of 75% a year-over-year growth are over. When it comes to EV sales, the market is likely heading into its trough of delusionment. Building EVs is one thing, selling EVs is something different altogether. We've talked about this before. Gap exists between enthusiasm for EVs and their actual purchasing decisions. If you're looking to buy a car, when it comes down to the nuts and bolts of it, you have to know how far you can drive with it. When do you have to recharge the car? And how it's going to be useful to you in real life. So EVs are dramatically under pressure on the sales cycle, dramatically under pressure. A little bit later today, come back for a video we're going to show, going back to the real estate, we're going to show examples of at least 5 or 6 homes across the country that you can buy for under $250,000 that either have multiple acreage, that have large square footage, maybe new homes, maybe near the ocean, maybe with nice views. What we talked about before of not being able to afford a $500,000 house, if you can't afford a $500,000 house but still want to buy a house, just know that there are homes out there that are under $250,000 that are in every part of the country, even desirable areas, that are good houses to buy. Again, it may not be your dream house, but like we've always said, we recommend buying the house that is the cheapest one that you can stand. At least get yourself into something that you own, so your rent's not going to go up, your payments are partially going to go to your equity, and you can participate in the appreciation of the housing market, so you're not locked out of a bigger house that might be your dream home in the future.
Are you tired of automated systems and chatbots when you need assistance? Experience actualhuman.com and connect with real professionals, not automation. At actualhuman.com, we bring you a network of professionals who are excited to answer your questions and provide guidance. Getting started is easy. Let us show you how. Here's how it works. Step 1. Select the best date and time for your video call. Step 2. Describe your situation and the areas you're looking for advice. Step 3. Connect one-on-one with an expert and get the undivided attention that you deserve. Experience the difference.